Hello and welcome to Will and Bear Cryptocurrency Analysis News and Education. My name is James Gore and this video is for the 24th of July 2018. Going to be jumping straight into the market update today. So, market cap is 300 billion US dollars. We have reached that level again. Trading volume is currently hovering at $20 billion, but I want to quickly check in on trading volume, and I'll tell you why. Because we reached an absolute ridiculous peak today when it comes to 24-hour trading. So we're going to go to the 1 day, and it's basically signaling this is the first major sign that we're moving into a bull market, guys. So some people might not like it because when I said the opposite during a bear market, people were quite unhappy and said I was creating FUD. But this is really bullish. But regardless, 24-hour volume reached a peak of 37 billion US dollars. Okay, 37 billion US dollars today. Okay, it reached a peak. That is absolutely insane. We've reached those levels, and it's tapered off today, but regardless, it's demonstrating that one of the signs that we're of a bull and bear market is the trading volume, total trading volume, and the bull market has high trading volume, the bear market has low trading volume, and we start to see spikes either dropping, which is what I was saying back in December that we're moving into a bear market. When the volume starts dropping off and getting ridiculously low, that's the signs we're moving into a bear market. In a bear market, when the volume's spiking and increasing quite significantly, that's the signs we're moving into a bull market. So it's just another indicator we're looking at, another metric that is telling us that we're moving into a bull market. Okay, guys, so get ready. Bitcoin's dominance is also increasing. Again, this is a hugely significant sign, currently at 47.2%. And if we scroll through the top 100, we can see the majority of coins right here are seeing gains these past 24 hours. Just quickly checking on charts, the biggest gain is Zencash with 26.03% these last 24 hours, followed by Mithril 18.71%. Biggest loss is Augur with 6.42%, which we'll be talking a bit about later with regards to its prediction market. Some interesting stuff regarding Augur. But we're going to go over to the technicals now on the big three. And boy oh boy, today is the most important day since the correction. Okay, the reason being is, before we look at any price action, the reason being is we've just broken out of the downtrend. Okay, the upper resistance, that negative resistance that we've injected from consistently over and over again since December in various ways, we've basically just broken out of it. So the most important thing, kind of test for Bitcoin moving forward, is about to happen. Okay, and it's all about how Bitcoin trades after this point. Okay, now we need to preferably find some kind of support on this this trend line. Okay, this downwards trend that have been rejected from. Reason being, if we can bounce off that and start rallying onto higher levels, it's fantastic. It's basically I'd basically say we're in a bull market. Okay, that's what I've been looking for ultimately, is to break out of this downtrend, break out of this upper resistance and start trading above it more freely. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I've been looking for it for quite some time, and I haven't really had the chance to speak about it since the last time we kind of approached that level, which was all the way back in May. So if we can continue to trade above this level, fantastic. Now here's the thing, I'm expecting a corrective phase relatively soon. Okay, there's a few different scenarios that can play out right now. Okay, we're currently massively overbought, where the RSI is at a relatively high level, overbought territory. But more importantly, just judging on levels of support and resistance. So in my last video, I was saying that $8,000 is the level I'm watching. First resistance level I'll be watching. Can we reach that level? We blasted way above that. And usually what happens, as well as I was covering it last year, that with my price targets, with the resistance levels, when they're absolutely smashed through like this, again, another sign that Bitcoin is moving into a bull market, just because it completely destroys any kind of reasonable expectations or where you expect it to kind of stop or face resistance. So we're currently facing resistance right now at $8,360 so we say 8,400. The 200-day moving average is my final stop before I'd expect to really strongly reassess where things are going. So the 200-day moving average is at $8,600 at the moment, and we also have previous price history hovering around here as well. If we just tap that on the chart, we can see if we scroll back through the history of BTC, we can see roughly around this level, 8,006, 8,055. We can see that it's been support and resistance based on these candles as well. So it's likely to be the last kind of hurdle before we actually move up and down. Now, generally speaking, things are looking great for BTC. It's up 7.15% today. We quickly check how much it's completely gained today. It's about 8% gain, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's what I'll be waiting for. Expect a corrective phase, likely to be down towards, if we just look at previous price history, around the, keep checking it out, 7,700 USD mark, 7,006. Just because we have previous price history here, we have the 100-day moving average hovering around here, and that's where we've have the most recent trading history. So it's likely to be, if we do correct, not the absolute bottom, but a likely level that would find some kind of support, just because the 8,000 USD mark, yes, it's around psychological level, yes, there's previous price history here, but we smashed through it on the way up, so it's likely we can break down through it on the way down as well. Moving on to Ethereum USD, ETHUSD, with some amazingly bullish news with Ethereum, which we'll cover later in the video, which I was really surprised to see. But Ethereum broke out today as well. It had a fantastic day, managed to smash above the 12 and 26 moving average exponential, faced resistance at the 50-day moving average, which is at 485 US dollars, increasing bull volume today. And all I'll be looking to see with Ethereum is whether or not we're going to close above the 26 moving average exponential. That's all not massive expectation, but if we can do that, basically shows decent signs of strength and that we can rally on to high levels. Again, RSI is trending upwards. Histogram is just starting to trend upwards with Ethereum. Ethereum's been a bit choppy lately. It hasn't really been performing as well as one would expect, but it's been outperforming Litecoin, so to speak, lately. But speaking of Litecoin, moving on to LTC USD, we can see Litecoin is a very similar chart, and I'd be expecting exactly the same thing from Litecoin. Very similar patterns. Broke above the 12 and 26, rejected from the 50, expected to close above the 26 moving average, which is purple line, which is currently at 85 US dollars, $2 off our current trading, where we're trading at 87.89. And again, RSI's upturn, trading above 50 RSI. The histogram of the MACD is trending upwards, generally in an upwards trend line. So very easy to kind of, very simple coin to pay attention to, Ethereum and Litecoin, with this one with their patterns. Bitcoin Cash is a very different story, similar story actually, not different story. I think I mentioned previously in the video, maybe yesterday or the day before, that the level to be watching to expect Bitcoin Cash to be rejected from is the 888 USD mark, just because we've been rejected from that level previously, and the high of today's candle is 875, so we're very close. It was actually the candle next to it that we were rejected from, so it broke above the 50-day. Strong volume from Bitcoin Cash. In fact, Bitcoin Cash has outperformed Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin today with regards to its maximum gain today. It's seen more profit taking than Bitcoin, but if you wanted to pick a coin to make the most money from, that's traded on Coinbase Pro, it would have been Bitcoin Cash. Now, it's, again, RSI is generally in an uptrend. Histogram, the MACD's trending to the bullish as well, and very high volume day today. So that's it for the TA section. We're going to jump to the news. We're going to do more TA at the end of the video, just covering some coins that got cut off in yesterday's video. So this was an interesting article. It's just talking about a few reasons behind this cryptocurrency surge, this Bitcoin surge today, and it was just rounding up all the positive news in the space. And it talks about the ETFs. It talks about South Korean markets opening up. It talks about SEC's rulings and regulations, and it talks about one other thing very quickly: the G20 and how some countries are now speaking more openly and positively with regards to cryptocurrencies. So that's all well and good, but realistically speaking, I'm 100% sure it's due to the ETFs that's happening, and I'm going to give my opinion on what's happening in the market in a second. Once I get to the ETF section of this video, do hang about, because I really think there's some interesting things going on behind the scenes that we're not really aware of. Next up, talking about this is a nice freebie from eToro, talking about our Cardano project. And it talks about history. It talks about its development. It talks about its goals, etc., etc. And this is produced by an exchange. And this is the second time I've done this, because previously, or not previously, yesterday, I shared a 30-page document that Abra produced covering all the cryptocurrencies on their exchange, and just some background. This is more specific, and the fact it's coming from a cryptocurrency exchange, I do think it's actually worth paying attention to. So I'll leave a link in the description box below. This could be a helpful resource for you. I've also done a review of Cardano on my channel in the past. I think it was last year. And it's a project I am bullish on. But if you want a nice summary of the project, I suggest you read this. I'll leave it in the description box below. Okay, moving on to the proper news. So Google's finally entering the blockchain space on Monday, the 23rd of July, 2018, just ahead of the Google Cloud Next 18 conference, which is today and the next couple of days in San Francisco. Google finally entered the blockchain space by announcing on its blog that it was partnering with 2 blockchain startups, Digital Asset and Block Apps, to bring distributed ledger technology solutions to its Google Cloud platform. The announcement from Google was intentionally very brief because it wanted to make a big splash at its 3rd annual Next conference, which starts today. More specifically, Google plans to reveal more information about these 2 partnerships at a breakout session called Distributed Ledger Technology Partnerships on the Google Cloud. Okay, guys, well, it's happening. This year is probably one of the massive turning points for blockchain tech and the cryptocurrency space as a whole. Okay, let's be realistic about what's happening here. Okay, we're halfway through the year. We're about to have ETFs drop. We're now seeing major companies like Google, Amazon, IBM, Microsoft enter the crypto space and provide their own blockchain solutions. There's no going back. This is Pandora's box. If there was anyone that was in any doubt whether or not this technology is legitimate and it's going to have some upside and provide value to the world, which is the main criticism that people say Bitcoin. People have varying degrees on a scale of how much bullshit is actually if the space is bullshit or not. Okay, so some people say that Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency that's worth paying attention to, and the rest are crap. Some say this whole space has no real value, no real value to offer, and other people say that companies like Google, IBM, Amazon, these established tech companies are actually just going to be providing solutions that are going to be dominating the market, and then cryptocurrency projects aren't going to actually be able to compete. Now, there's an element of truth to that last statement. Okay, some of these really niche crypto projects are going to struggle. So for example, cloud storage projects are going to struggle to compete with Google. However, they're actually going to have a unique element to them where Google will not have your data. For example, in this instance, Google won't actually be beholden on your data. They won't be able to target ads to you, and there is a certain, especially with regards to what happened with Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, and this perception that these major companies are essentially spying on you and selling your data against advertisers, when there's going to be solutions out there which are more specific and niche and just looking to solve one single problem based on crypto tech, blockchain tech, and won't be doing that, and may even pay you, may even reward you for storing data through cryptocurrency. Google isn't able to compete with that model because they won't be able to pay their end user for storing their data on the blockchain. It's not possible. It's not feasible in their business model. So, these other companies will be able to compete, which is fantastic. But it does mean that the landscape is changing. It does mean that the tech space is changing. It does mean that if anyone was in doubt about what's happening in the crypto space, you only need to point them towards announcements like this, and they'll probably say something like blockchain but not Bitcoin, or blockchain and not cryptocurrencies. And that's Andreas Antonopoulos has a fantastic video on his channel, which I suggest you guys watch. He talks about blockchain versus Bitcoin and how people try to separate the two out, and really they're intangible, and Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have benefits that aren't feasible in a private blockchain, and it ultimately comes down to innovation, experimentation, and creativity. So absolutely fantastic stuff. So moving on, some really crazy news. So Augur, the prediction market, basically has what I would call dark markets on there. So bear in mind, this is a public, not anonymous crypto project. Okay, the developers are they have their identities tied to the project. So decentralized prediction market Augur is attracting criticism following its launch as potentially illegal markets begin to surface on its platform. So Augur, which finally launched on July 9th, so it's not been around for that long, it's been around for 15 days. After a beta phase lasting 2 years, currently has almost 2 million in open interest on the Ethereum digital app, representing a potentially giant opportunity for blockchain to fund new markets. The platform nonetheless faces legal hurdles due to its decentralized design. Prediction markets, which commentators note could become huge in size, could also be against the law. Among them, Bitcoin developer Matt Odell notes are assassination markets, which have already begun appearing on Augur since launch. So Matt Odell says potential for assassination markets, terror markets, and election markets. So this puts Augur at a really in a really precarious place. At least people that run Augur or have founded Augur, because it basically means that ultimately there's some potential for this to go really askew and have markets appear on their platform, which would technically be illegal in almost every single place. So understand it's a prediction market. It's not like the dark web. It's not like Silk Road or something like that. It's slightly different with regards to what service they're providing. Now, the interesting thing is they actually have they do have a kill switch based inherent in the platform, thanks to developers that have created Augur. But just very quickly, so the issue of the market attracting unwanted legal implications is made harder for Augur should lawmakers take an interest in a particular activity. The platform's kill switch, social media users note, makes it impossible for developers to claim they can't shut down operations. The alternative, launching anonymously from the outset, which was unattractive due to the cost and potential lack of investment, adding the route Augur ended up was taking extremely short-sighted. So essentially the reason why this project wasn't released anonymously like a Silk Road or which technically wasn't completely anonymously, but like a dark web completely anonymous crypto project is just because people wouldn't be willing to invest in an ICO or will be less willing to invest in an ICO where people don't really know who's running the project, especially for something like this. It's very hard to trust a project when you don't know who's actually running it. But really interesting stuff. It's crazy, seeing where things are heading unexpectedly. Although I'm sure some people did predict this was something that was possible. But just from my personal standpoint, I never thought Augur would be used for, predicting, terror attack markets or assassination markets. Some very crazy things. Next up. Just want to quickly touch upon the media's coverage of ETFs, okay? Because we've seen news coming from various places that ETFs are basically being delayed by the SEC, or there's some kind of issue or some bad press, and you dig a bit deeper and there's some kind of unreasonable holdup, and you dig a bit deeper and you find out that it's actually more complex than that, and it's actually not being delayed. So just very quickly, regarding ETFs, there's been a bit of FUD being spread, and it's 100% FUD, and it's ultimately to manipulate people to click through and read articles. And it's just the same issue we're seeing with news in crypto space that we see everywhere, and it can be a bit frustrating, but ultimately it comes down to if it bleeds, it leads. They're after page clicks because they have advertisers on their website. Okay, so they're providing sensationalist headlines, and you read the article and you dig a bit deeper, and then you find out it's not entirely true, or you dig a bit deeper and it's half the story. So just to quickly round up what's happening with the ETFs. ETFs are about 90% likely to be approved at the moment, based on, I can't remember whose comments, but we're extremely close to reaching ETFs. Okay, very soon, and it's specifically the CBOE ETFs. Okay, now there are 3 or 4 other proposals that aren't getting any attention, that are sometimes being covered and being used as a means to kind of spread FUD, or not even spread FUD, just get clicks through to their page. So it's important to kind of be aware of where we actually are in the timeline of an ETF proposal. We're extremely close. Okay, now all this is great, all this is fantastic, whoop-de-doo. But more importantly, okay, Ethereum ETFs are also being included. Okay, so there's an Ethereum ETF proposal that's being put through, and it's highly likely that it's also going to be approved once the Bitcoin ETF is approved. Okay, again, Bitcoin ETF, according to Zero Hedge, which is a website which reported earlier today, that's based on the statements coming from the SEC and some sources as well at CFTC, that the crypto markets have moderated and regulators watch the lack of drama surrounding Bitcoin futures across several global exchanges, saying it's 90% close to getting approved. The price moderation and adoption of a peer product is what the conversations have created. Centered around in January 2018, we were justifiably concerned about a bubble and the harm a quickly approved product could attract speculators and create losses that led to significant lawsuits. Now those factors seem to be mitigated significantly. So part of the delay with an ETF from December to this point is the fact that obviously there was a massive pump in the price of BTC, and regulators didn't want to contribute to any kind of bubble inflating if it was a bubble. So again, CBOE ETF is extremely close to being approved. This is the closest we've ever been in the cryptocurrency space to anything like this. And again, I mentioned previously in other videos that Bitcoin futures have kind of dissolved the barriers when it comes to crypto space entering the broader financial markets. So fantastic stuff on the way. Fantastic stuff. Okay, just very quickly, I think we can skip this. Okay, so the last two pieces of news. ICX Icon, my favorite project that isn't gaining me any serious gains just yet, is getting Ledger support on Ledger Nano. So that's coming very, very soon. It's absolutely fantastic. We do need it. I love for VeChain and Ontology to be doing the same. That would really help things out with regards to storage, but it's absolutely great. We're probably going to see those projects on the Ledger very soon. And just lastly, speaking of VeChain, Binance has completed its mainnet swap of VEN to VET for this project, which is fantastic for VeChain. So that is underway. So if you want to withdraw your VET tokens, you now can. You can start benefiting from the Thor dividend. I think they have a wallet. I haven't checked, but I need to quickly drop back in. But it does mean that there's some nice developments there. Okay, very quickly, just checking in on the comment section. I know in the last video, the TA got cut off on 2 coins I was looking to do. I have no idea why. My laptop sometimes restarts randomly now. I think it's due to the heat. Brad Blackman says, thanks, James. No problem. Mork says, love your work and thanks for contributions to the space. No worries. I'm going to keep doing these videos until I can't do anymore. John Bryan says, thanks for the altcoin review, James. Nice for you to share it. No problem. Thumbs up and heart. Andy Chan says, wasn't able to catch your live stream. Maybe next time you can send a message on a private group on Telegram to notify. I will do that, good sir. I use Ichimoku for the 4-hour time frame when it breaks up and above the cloud to catch a retrace and a stop loss. Very nice. I do like Ichimoku. It can be very, very useful. I says I don't be able to watch the live streams then. Bummer. Can you do some TA on Maker, Lisk, and Wanchain? Maker DAO. Maker. Let's do Maker. Okay, let me quickly check on the ticker. MKR. MKR versus BTC on Finex. There's not enough trading history. Let me quickly check to see if there's a other exchange. Versus the dollar. Oh man, this is a very ugly coin, very ugly chart. It's been trading for 75 days. I'd arguably say TA on this coin would be quite troublesome. Rather volatile. It looks like there's not much trading volume as well, considering it's a daily chart and there's gaps up and gaps down, which you typically would see on the stock market, but not on the cryptocurrency. So that's rather odd. Okay, so you can do some TA on this coin. Man, this is very strange charts. Just looking at it. Okay, so I would say if you're purely looking for TA, I'd pay attention to the histogram on the MACD. That's going to be the most reliable. And just seeing, I can't give property on this coin. I'm sorry. I could, but I don't think it'd be accurate enough. I'm sorry about that. Let me take a look at Lisk. Sorry about that, man. That's a bummer. Lisk versus Bitcoin. There we go. Downtrend. It's in a continually downtrending at the moment. Maribozu's after Maribozu. It looks like it wants to find some sideways action relatively soon. It's moving in. It's quite overbought, so oversold at the moment. But I'd expect a fake bounce first, just because the majority of these coins at the moment, there's a lot. If they're strongly downtrending in the current market conditions, they're not picking up action in the current market conditions. When they bounce, the bounces are so weak they just continues to trend downwards and then sideways trade, and then they have the actual bounce. So I'd be patient with Lisk. That being said, Lisk is a pretty solid project. They do have some really fantastic things going on. I think I read something on Lisk today. They have a new development. So they're still churning on, but this coin actually looks like it's going to be one of those coins that provide you quite a nice opportunity soon, but not today. It's one to watch, to add to the watch list. Wanchain. Let me just quickly click read more. Wanchain, is this the coin that's going to be providing the killer chart? That's going to be just an amazing setup. Okay, again, Wanchain is another crypto that seems to be struggling, and this is exactly what I mean by the fake bounce. You know, it moves from oversold territory, has a bit of a bounce, and then continues to downtrend, and then the bounce here is just so weak that this is, you know, we're moving into the real oversold territory right now. So the one thing I would say that's playing into its favor is this candle might close as a spinning top, which would signal indecision, which could mean that there's start some sideways trading action. But again, 3 coins that I wouldn't be trading right now. It's just there's no upside at the moment. So apologies there, good sir. In a long-term perspective, it's a slightly different story. Again, it looks like they might be approaching bottom pretty soon. MBER says not be good. Sorry if that's not be good. The video cut out when you're analyzing the ZRX and basic attention token. Yeah, apologies guys. I don't know what happened there. So we'll go back to ZRX today and take a quick look. And it broke out of this shape, which is what, you know, I was saying that in the last video. You know, you can chart a level of support and chart a upper level of resistance. It was a symmetrical triangle, and symmetrical triangles are pretty much 50-50. You generally want to weight your opinion based on the overall trend. You don't usually want to trade against the trend, but the symmetrical triangle broke bearish. So what you would have done is made an entry on support to put a stop loss below that support, maybe like 5%, and you know, you would have got stopped out and saved yourself quite a headache. Now, checking back in today, it looks like 0x is going to continue to downtrend but find support on the 200-day moving average. It's likely to close below the 50-day, which means that could become resistance moving forward. But unless for whatever happens, maybe this coin can close with a very strong reversal hammer, which I think will be unlikely. It's likely to find support on the 200-day first, so that's what I'd be paying attention to at the moment. And we do have increasing volume on this move down as well. RSI is facing some upper resistance here. Histogram is trending downwards as well. So again, I'll be watching the 200-day on 0x, kind of pay attention to whether or not it's going to find support. And then lastly, basic attention token. So BAT, because you've asked, is the coin I'm recommending people pay attention to on Patreon, because it's 30% gain yesterday. No potential to provide a 30% gain, 20-30% gain. It was 100 satoshis off the target I mentioned in the Patreon, and it looks like we found some upward resistance here. We have a triple top here, so likely to continue to downtrend. However, it's currently still adhering to this trading channel, which has been really fun to trade because it's provided some, at least a few times, provided some nice 30% gains. So if you like basic attention token, it's currently trading at a price you would make an entry on. It has a support at the 100 days. So if it breaks below, and reaches, the 50 and 200, then that's where my stop would be. So that's just my opinion. Thumbs up and hearts, good sir. I just want to quickly check to see if it's still recording, which it seems to be, which is fantastic. Just start clicking the highest, the slowest 24-hour volume on CoinMarketCap. Highest in 24. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Let's take a look at that actually. Bitcoin, Tether, Ethereum, EOS, Bcash, Litecoin, Tron, Ripple, Qtum, Ethereum Classic, Cardano, Mithril's so heavily traded, it's kind of crazy. Neo, okay. I will start doing that. That's a really great suggestion. Thank you so much for that, Wall Street Kirk. That's a really great suggestion. I'll start doing that in the daily videos. Hi James, wondering what your thoughts are on the alts right now. They seem to be at bargain prices across the board, but nobody wants to touch them. Seems like a great time to be buying. So much upside versus BTC. Wanted your opinion. Okay, so very quickly, timing is everything. Okay, guys, we're definitely on the cusp of some serious gains in the space. Now, the only reason you would want to be trading altcoins versus Bitcoin is if they're going to provide you more gains than just holding Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the market leader. Bitcoin is a coin you want to be paying attention to. It's the canary in the coal mine as well, obviously, but at the moment, all the fundamental news is behind Bitcoin. ETFs, everything is behind Bitcoin, okay? So if you're confident in your charting, then yes, I'd say if you want to trade coins, then trade coins. Now for a more mid-term swing or longer term position, yes, altcoins can really provide you with some massive gains. However, when this bull run is happening, when everyone's piling on, it's not going to be on the altcoins. It's going to be on BTC. I'm not saying that altcoins aren't going to perform well. They will show up, and they're likely to show up when Bitcoin kind of slows down and people start shifting their gains, the profit they've made from BTC to some other coins. But for a more midterm thing, Bitcoin's the one that's going to have the ETF. Simple, and that's what we're waiting for. This is what's coming. So we can have institutional money flow into Bitcoin first, okay? Then you can start looking at some of these altcoins. But until then, this bull market is going to be driven by BTC, okay? So do bear in mind, and that's why people aren't touching them, because firstly, some of these coins aren't really at absolute. Yeah, some of them are at bargain levels. Absolutely, I completely agree with you there. But a lot of them are just flat. And ideally you want to combine fundamental news with strong fundamental news with technicals. That's really what's going to provide you some a significant edge over for more investment or midterm swing positions. So that's my opinion there. Just scrolling through, guys, if you look at my tickers, okay, if you look at the Bitcoin pairings, and this is why I trade versus Bitcoin versus US Tether, almost all these pairings are in the red. Okay, they're down. Okay, and the reason is it's because Bitcoin's outperforming them, and that's what we want to pay attention to. Now, if you had USD tickers, yeah, you could look at the percentage, but for example, Stellar is up 5%, which is fantastic, but it's still not performing as well as Bitcoin, and that's what you're really looking for with this market. You're trying to outperform Bitcoin. Zcash is crushing it right now. It's doing really well. Z Classic versus USD, 5% gain, but it's not beating Bitcoin. So that's the kind of thing you want to pay attention to. Donnie Kelly says, video broken at the end during 0x review. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Appreciate that. I've redone the TA, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date. And if you are looking to learn technical analysis, we have a technical analysis course, which is popping up on the screen, where you can improve your cryptocurrency trading and investing. It's made for you guys, as per your request. And thank you so much. Hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Wishing you guys all the very best, and let's make a lot of gains this impending crypto bull run. Hope you have an amazing day, guys. See you very soon.